Hello movie fans and welcome to Lost in the Reel. Today I'm going to be covering the new psychological thriller, The Tutor. Now this is one of those films that I would usually completely skip past, but I was immediately intrigued by the casting of Stranger Things' Noah Schnapp in one of the lead roles. It's been so interesting getting to see the ensemble cast from Netflix's hit series grow up in front of our eyes and take on other substantial roles. Millie Bobby Brown hit it huge with franchises like Enola Holmes and Godzilla. Finn Wolfhard has seemingly been everywhere in indies and blockbusters like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Joe Keery was a huge highlight of Free Guy, and Gaten Matarazzo even got his own show on Netflix called Prank Encounters. But Noah Schnapp is one of the few actors from the Stranger Things crew to not really have a breakout role outside of the series. So, how does he do here? Vertical Entertainment's The Tutor is a slick-looking thriller that also stars Garrett, Hedlund, and Victoria Justice. It follows you guessed it, tutor named Ethan, who makes his money mentoring children of the filthy rich to make sure they get into their Ivy League colleges. One day he receives an offer asking directly for his services and an exorbitant amount of money per day to tutor a young man named Jackson. Ethan immediately gets red flags from the kid, who doesn't seem like he needs any tutoring at all, more like a psych evaluation instead. Unfortunately, with a baby on the way, he decides to stay for the money and endure the weirdness. But how much can this tutor take until his life completely unravels? The plot of The Tutor is a little basic, but there was a lot of room to build off of that plot and create some enticing thrills. I'm a sucker for a good obsession story, and putting a little twist on it with Noah Schnapp becoming obsessed with Hedlund's character attracted me enough to check this one out. But unfortunately, The Tutor is almost a complete misfire and probably worth skipping altogether. The real issue here is that the movie never feels like it takes off. I kept looking at the time waiting for the tutor to actually do something interesting, but it literally flatlines from the very beginning and is never able to resuscitate itself. There are absolutely no thrills to be had here and zero tension, making for one of the dullest movie experiences I've had in quite some time. And I honestly blame most of this on the inept screenplay by Ryan King, unless something really tragic happened in the editing room. The best example of the clumsiness of this screenplay happens during what I assume was supposed to be the big reveal of the movie. As this revelation is dropped into the lap of our lead character, he acts completely unfazed by the whole thing. Rather than him discovering it on his own and it leading to some kind of shock factor, the twist is just told to him through some clunky dialogue, and Ethan pretty much just shrugs it off. As a viewer, I was left scratching my head, wondering if I had missed him finding out this reveal first on his own. But sadly, I hadn't. This horribly anticlimactic shift in the narrative then leads to absolutely nothing of substance afterwards. You know, I just feel like everyone involved deserved better than what was given to them with this screenplay. As the end credits rolled, I just kept thinking to myself what the purpose of The Tutor was and why anyone should be expected to care. The characters are so thinly drawn, there is no forward momentum of the plot, there is little excitement or toughness, and the story literally feels like it leads nowhere and has nothing of merit to say. Now, it may sound like I am being way too harsh on this film, and that might be true, but to me, The Tutor was an extremely frustrating watch watch and commits one of the worst film offenses. It had so much potential, but it feels like it never even tried from the start. The one positive thing that I can take away from this movie is that Noah Schnapp showed some real promise. While I was a bit disappointed that his Jackson ends up being more of a side character to Hedlund's Ethan, every time the young actor is on screen, the movie begins sputtering to life. Schnapp is extremely effective, playing this unhinged, possibly psychotic, and mentally unstable character, still garnering our empathy, whilst also making us constantly question if we should trust him or not. He is almost channeling Anthony Perkins from Psycho here, and I was completely captivated by the performance. It makes it all the more irritating that the film this performance lives in is such a misguided dud. One can only hope that Schnapp is given the chance to play a character like this again in a much better movie. Thank you so much for watching Lost in the Reel. What are your thoughts on The Tutor? Do you think I'm not giving the film enough credit, or do you think it's one of the worst films of the year so far? And what are your thoughts on that twist reveal? Did you also find it completely anticlimactic? Sound off in the comments section down below. And until next time, my friends, take care.